Okay, I am ready, Obi.
All right, let's do it. Hey. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, June 29th, and crypto is exciting for me. Well, maybe not exciting to a lot of people because of what's going on with the market. But actually, but I wanted to actually start off with saying that I've been seeing on the on crypto Twitter and social media, a few people are even some people have asked me personally like what's going on. Is Bitcoin dead? Is crypto dead? And I can kind of see that the people that are asking me that are saying this haven't actually been following crypto for a while and are most likely new to it. Only been in here a year or 2 years or something of that sort. But we've actually seen this kind of correction before. In 2014, I remember Bitcoin's price crash when the Mt. Gox exchange collapsed. And then in 2018, Bitcoin's price fell 80%. I was definitely here for that one. And the cause for that in 2018 was hundreds of these ICOs, which are initial coin offerings, they crashed and burned. I was actually invested in a few, and I've never gotten my coins, or those projects never came to fruition. So in both of those cases, though, the market actually did recover, and crypto prices actually rose higher than before. And even though Bitcoin has lost 70% of its dollar value since November 2021, it is still worth more than its December 2017 tick. So, do you model or do you sell, to get out and wait for the market to recover? I do know a lot of people actually, when this happens, they actually do liquidate all their bags, and take profit where they can and just wait for, an upswing in the market. But I myself, there's a lot of projects that I am still holding and I'm just waiting. And I'm also looking forward to, you know, the opportunity to buy more, especially, if Bitcoin goes lower, which I think it will most definitely.
I think it's going to go lower too, and I'm waiting on it. And I think another way, if you can't read charts, to see that it's more than likely going to go lower, is if you start looking or you pay attention to some of the Twitter pages that monitor wallets. Some of these big ass Bitcoin wallets, a lot of movement has been moving Bitcoin from personal wallets back to exchanges. There has been smaller ones moving from exchanges back to the wallets, but typically before I even learned anything about chart in the beginning, I would pay attention to that. And when I started seeing big ass wallets putting over $1 million worth of Bitcoin back on the exchange, then that gets my wheels turning. Like, oh, okay, what do you know that I don't know? That's why I'm super glad that I'm learning charts in that. And then we have Wolf, and a few other people that I'm able to just like bat some ideas off of. Oh, this is what I think I'm seeing. What do you think? But typically, when you start seeing those bigger wallets moving Bitcoin back to the exchange, hold on tight, y'all. Ready to start DCAing because that's what I'm waiting on. I'm not scared. I'm not upset. There's people around me that, oh, crypto is over. Crypto is not over. Everything goes through cycles. Money goes through cycles. People go through cycles. Everything in the world goes through cycles, and we're just in one of those cycles now.
Right, and we have a lot of different things actually adding to this recipe that we didn't have in the past. No one foresaw a pandemic actually happening, and no one actually saw a war happening. So, with each cycle, there are different things that are actually happening. So investors are a little bit more fearful when it comes to buying, and they're investors are trying to protect their interests. So a lot of them are taking profit. So I'm not surprised, Thomas, that we see a lot of big wallets moving Bitcoin to exchanges because you know what that means. They're about to take profit or get out and probably get back in. So it's going to be interesting to see in the next couple of months. I'm definitely looking forward to quarter three and quarter four to see what's going on and actually to see what price Bitcoin is going to be at because I'm just waiting. I haven't actually bought anything yet. I know a lot of people are actually buying the dips, but I actually want to buy the lowest dip I can catch possible. So I just have my funds ready and I'm waiting for that.
Right. I do have my funds ready and waiting. I do think it's interesting, though, today that there's a lot of big wallets moving back to the exchange, only for the mere fact that we also heard that NATO is sending the offering to extend NATO. Man, I've been doing the flooring. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Of two other nations, well, two other countries, and Putin is. I'll have to grab my notes. Putin is slapping back, saying, "Hey, if you extend NATO to these people, I will act accordingly also." And that was what originally, quote unquote, started with the Ukrainian Russia thing anyway. And as NATO was, once NATO was in its creation, it was never supposed to be expanded. That's what it was supposed to be. So seeing that NATO is offering more countries in while there's already a conflict based on saying, hey, you better not put them in NATO on my doorstep. So getting that news, seeing big wallets moving it back to the exchange. A lot of people know things that we don't know. I'm not saying that it's going to happen into another type of conflict, but there is a high potential there will be another conflict if these talks to be continue to go on, and it looks as if NATO will be bringing these countries in.
Yeah, the funny thing about that NATO situation is that a lot of these countries want to be a part of NATO, so that's the funny thing I was reading. A lot of them actually just want to be a part of it. But I'm sure that's not making Russia happy because it's like you're closing them in. So I think that's Putin's problem, at the end of the
It
day.
is, and that's the biggest thing. Is one there was one time, I don't know if it was during this conflict, because I watch those kind of things. I might not be very public and forthgoing with how I see different conflicts in the world, but Putin had said at one particular time or another, how would you feel if we were working with Canada and we put Russian troops on the border to the U.S.? And it makes a lot of sense. We would not like it. We would lash out quickly. And the fact that NATO and let's if we're just talking about facts, the fact that NATO is not supposed to expand since its creation, and it still has, and nobody has said anything until now Russia's feeling like it's being closed in on. And I'm not saying he's right or he's wrong, but you also have to look at geographical location. And if NATO starts encroaching, then it's going to make him nervous. And then we'll see what's going to happen. But if you really look into NATO, it was never supposed to expand. So, yeah, that's a pretty crucial point. And when you start doing geographical like conflicts or geopolitical things across the world, then money and currencies start fluctuating. You start seeing the sway and the wane from it when it's happening. So I didn't bring that up as being a political or a military type conversation. It's actually just ingredients in the melting pot of what's going on in people's financials.
Yeah, and not only that, we're still actually recovering from the pandemic. There's a lot of people who are not working, who have not worked and have lost their jobs during the pandemic. So there's a lot of cautious investors out here, which makes sense. But just it was just going back to what I said earlier and talking about 2014 and 2018. Of course, those were different because and they had different catalysts, but for
hear me clearly? Because you were being choppy for me, and I'm wondering if it's my connection.
No, I can hear you. Can
Am
you
I
hear me now?
roboting?
No. Are you? Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, it was really choppy there for a minute, so I wasn't sure if it was me or if it was you, but it sounds like we're back now.
Yeah. Damn, I forgot what I was saying. um.
You were first talking about how people are still aren't working because of the pandemic and people are still being cautious.
Right, and that's to be expected. With what's going on. I mean, you're looking at what's going on with the gas. You're looking at what's going on with food and a lot of other things. I think people are just being careful right now. But as I was saying before, I wasn't. I was here in 2018, but I wasn't paying attention. But I'm definitely paying attention now in 2022 because I'm going to actually be stocking up on a whole lot more projects that I didn't catch in 2021 because I just felt they were too expensive, and I was right because now those prices they're at least they're at like a 50% discount or more for a lot of these projects.
Oh, for sure. I've been monitoring that too for my list, and a majority of them are down at least 50. But I have noticed some of the big ones that were on my list from their all-time high are down like 88 to 94%. So that's a nice little cushion pocket. And I'm looking potentially for some of those. If it hits like the 98 to 97% down from all-time high, which I know it can still go lower. Some of those I may start DCAing at that point, but a lot of the other ones I'm still waiting because even based on conversations that Wolf's had in here with us on Dames on the blockchain and in CU and his Twitter, he was seeing some different potential goals of Bitcoin. And the little bit that I was looking at, I was seeing a somewhat around the same range, but I truly like batting off ideas with him because he's really good with the charts and a few other people that I know, and then watching some of the other ones on YouTube just to kind of see, hey, how is my eyes and my brain perceiving what I'm seeing? And it's been pretty dang close. So with that being said, some of them I'm looking at that percentage drop of all-time high to start DCAing on certain solid projects that I know, and then others I'm kind of waiting to see how close to that bottom that I may be able to see to then start DCAing. So I have two different strategies based on the projects that I'm looking at.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm just I have my alert set up because I have a certain kind of price that I want these projects, so that I want to buy these projects at, and I'm not going to actually overspend. I know we had a discussion in our Discord about buying dips because some people actually, buy dips. And, to me, I mean, I'm not just going to buy every dip. I want to buy a certain kind of dip. If something is 5 cents, I want to see if I can get it at 2 cents or 1 cent, because I want to get more for my money. But everybody has their different strategy. But I know for me, as I said earlier, I'm going to be smarter this time. And I'm going to make sure the money that I have to invest is going to go a long, long way for sure. We got.
Oh, for sure. That is for sure a real thing. Because it was a few weeks ago, probably about three. I seen this when somebody had posted when buying the dip, and it showed one of these cars, and a sinkhole had opened up underneath it, and it just kept going and going and going. And that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to be sinking my fiat and my value into things that are still going down. And I know it's impossible to catch the bottom, and I know it's impossible to catch the top, but you can get really close if you're paying attention and not getting giddy like, oh, it's so low. Yeah, but how would you feel in next week if you bought that dip and that dip is substantially lower and you've lost a lot of your value? You might still hold the coins and you still have them. You haven't lost it, but you've lost the value in which you put in. And that's the biggest thing I'm paying attention to also.
Right. That's exactly what I'm trying to do too. Like I said, and get more bang for my buck, basically. But everybody has their own strategy. I'm kind of interested tonight to see. strategies that you guys have for what's going on right now. I do notice that there was a small relief bounce in Bitcoin. People were pretty excited about it. Also, I mean, I woke up, my portfolio was in the green, but I wasn't too enamored with that because, like I said, I felt like it was just a short term thing, and it was. And I'm still just keeping track of what's going on, with Bitcoin and the market. Big Rob, you're up on the mic. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I'm just glad to be here. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm gonna say my plan. Like I'm buying it at like 18,000, around 18,000 for Bitcoin, 15, 12, and if I see 9, I'm going all in. That's just me. I'm stubborn. Uh, those are the knives I'm catching. I'm just here to have my hand up for questions later, so don't mind me. I'm just driving.
You're good. You're good. You're good. But yeah, the floor is open. This isn't, we're not. This is just it's not just me and Thomas talking, of course, as you guys know. If anybody wants to come to the mic, just request, and we'll let you speak.
I did want to bring up while Wolf is coming up. So I know we talked about the Horizon ETH Bridge hack last week, and it's been a conversation in and out in the Discord when I've been there. Sorry, guys. Um, but so I think the biggest thing that the takeaway from the news that is coming out on it is I wanted people to be vigilant about, hey, we have crypto news stations that are giving us news stories and everything. There has been multiple times in this last week that I've seen conflicting information between A and B, or some come out with information as it's breaking news and it's been reported 3 days ago as something else. But with the Horizon ETH bridge hack, now all of a sudden, all 100 million of it, $100 million of the hack has been laundered through Tornado Cash, when we've also gotten the update that $70 million of it had been frozen. So now it's time to weigh and do your due diligence when you're taking news, and not just take it as, oh, Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, or anybody put this out, this is factual information. Just like how you deal with everyday news stations in real life, if you're paying attention to the news, don't just read a headline, read through it, get the information, and cross-reference it, especially if it draws you to ask questions of yourself. Just start digging in or ask other people, and many people doing research will help bring the more of a common denominator in the middle of the information that's coming out. And then on top of that, now all of a sudden it was, oh, who were they? The Lazarus group. Now they're saying the Lazarus group of North Korea is responsible for the hack. And so then you start seeing this common narrative when big hacks happen. That's when red flags go off. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up, and we could talk about it later. But I know Wolf came up. I just wanted to bring that up because that's very apparent, and a lot of red flags started going off on me last night and today when I started seeing a lot of these articles in the narrative that's rolling out.
Before Wolf gets on the mic, the thing about a lot of these articles, like sometimes I actually go to these writers' page, their Twitter page, and I'm expecting, for them to have a lot of followers and to have a lot of activity on their Twitter, and they don't. They really don't. So I'm like, okay, don't have many people talking to you. You're not really talking to many people. So is this just, some modge podge of information you just gotten off the internet, and is it really factual? So, you do have to fact check a lot of these articles, Cointelegraph, Decrypt, Coin News. I mean, a lot of them. So, just because you're reading it and they posted it doesn't make it factual. That's for sure.
And they do be hiring crypto Twitter influencers. FYI, I've seen it multiple times, and just just factual information that sometimes it's not even journalists. It's actual crypto Twitter influencers.
That's right. Yeah, didn't who was it? CoinDesk or whoever it was hired a popular influencer. I
Yep,
forgot.
one that charges for the shilling.
Damn. See what I'm saying? So yeah, but that's for another show. Wolf, what you got to say?
We can bring that up, right? No, I just wanted to say, happy Hump Day. It's the middle of the week. We're almost there, home stretch for the weekend. Um, you know, people really just need to do their own research. We might say it often, but it rings so true. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people who don't do that. They just see the clickbait article head or, another big influencer or somebody in the community that unfortunately post something. And sometimes, sure, I've been guilty of this. I've been wrong before. You have to kind of like retract some things. Most of the time, if you dive deep onto it, you can find that something's false relatively quick, or find the information that you're looking for. I was literally called a fudster last night at like 2 o'clock in the morning, based on the XRP Mastercard debit card that's ceasing operation on July 15th, because I posted factual information. So you have lazy people, and then you just have people that are just people, that just want to remain uneducated and not do their own research. Um, but yeah, I just want to say happy Wednesday. You're right, Thomas. I had some targets. I think I said it. I might have said it last week too, even. But 4 out of the 5 targets hit. Um, the next range is 9 to 12K. I definitely see some capitulation that's going to occur still. So I still see, personally for me, I got my eyes on the downside still, and also the upside just by the off chance, because we might see something where the Fed actually, to fight to fight off this inflation, shockingly, they may reverse the tech, the rates that they've just recently risen. I know it's not a popular opinion, but they can definitely do that to combat and start printing again. So that's something that I'm keeping an eye on, in the coming 6 months, to see how this actually plays out, because they're still looking for the economy to stabilize, from everything that's kind of gone on with the artificialness of it, printing, all that money and everything, and waiting to see things recover. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, happy to be here.
Hey, Wolf. Yeah, no, that's another thing with the Fed too, is they could either be doing exactly what you just said, or they can completely bottom out like the stock market. Since we know the stock market, a lot of those trends follow and just is like rolls downhill from there. They could actually try to bottom that completely out, then let it crash down, and then try to quote unquote be the superstars, and then come in and then start building it back up too. So we see like 2 or 3 different options, that can definitely happen. There is plenty more that could. It's just that, like what Wolf was just saying, or the bottoming out of the markets completely, then to swoop in, then start printing, put that money right back in it, and kind of build a bubble, even if it's temporarily or a long term one again. So yeah, there's a lot of different things to look at, but I'm right there with you. I'm waiting on your target of 9 to 12,000, because I definitely think that it can go there. I particularly was seeing different trends from what I've learned from you guys, at least just under 10 in my personal opinion. But I am not a genius at that. So anybody listening now or later, don't base any of your strategy on what I'm saying right now. Definitely research, get your stuff going together, try to learn some of these charts. But that's personally kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, most most definitely. Go ahead, Wolf.
No, no, I was just saying we had to throw out that disclaimer, not financial advice, right?
Right. But that doesn't matter. I'm just going to put that out there. Don't come to me say, but you said I did say, and that's what I was working for me. But I don't want anybody, I'm open to talk about strategies that I am doing or different things like that. I just don't want anybody to start taking the lazy approach to their investment and trying to use anybody who is up here and basing their strategy and trying to emulate what we are doing, because it may or may not work out. In my personal opinion, I think I have a fairly strong strategy, but it may not work for everybody else, because I also say invest in your own interest also. If you're interested in the projects that you're in, you'll stay better informed. Just like, hey, I could listen to all y'all and get into XRP. I am not interested in XRP. So I won't monitor it the way half of the rest of the people listening will. Not saying that it's a bad project, not saying that I think it's going to fail. I'm just personally not invested into a point to follow it in that kind of way.
Yeah, I'm with Thomas on that one. Go ahead, Big Rob.
All right, let's get these questions rolling early. This is for Wolf. What do you use for your charting? What tools do you use to kind of figure out your predictions? Are you using Fibonacci's? Are you using RSI's, Bollinger Bands, etc.?
Yeah, so I actually use, so a lot of people argue with it, like RSI being a lagging indicator. I like using it in my TA. Also, MACD is a big part of it for me. And Bollinger Band, sure. But yeah, Trading View is what I use. It's a really good tool. And I would say, and I think most people use that for free, but obviously to unlock the other tools, you have to spend X amount of money per month or annually. But I definitely think it's worth it for somebody to go on there and mess around with the free tools they have, and just practice doing TA, because anybody could really learn it nowadays with all these YouTube videos and things like that. All that stuff's out there for free for you to learn it, and then obviously from there you'll develop your own way of doing your strategy. I don't really like to post my charts and stuff because I don't want to be responsible for someone, using my chart or something to then go ahead and a couple trades or something, because I've been wrong in the past. Charting isn't like 100%. Win rate for most people. Usually it's, if you're good at it, you can get like a 70+% win rate. But I just don't want to be responsible for people's investment decisions as far as charting goes. But I definitely recommend anybody to go on TradingView and start using that, playing around with it. There's a couple other ones out there, but that one's by far the best. And even some of these exchanges out there, you can use their drawing tools that are on the websites as well.
Yeah, and with TradingView, you can get a whole 30-day. I believe it's either 2 weeks or 30 days free, and then it's $14.95, I believe, a month, because that's what I was doing.
Yeah, it's somewhere on there. I think I was paying like 20 or something, but yeah, definitely worth it though. Definitely look if someone's interested in TA. Now's the time when we're in this type of market. To be honest with you, now's the time to educate yourself on this stuff.
Do you have any beginning YouTuber channels on how to get started in the charting? Like that you'd be like, hey, go watch this guy, just for a beginner's guide.
I don't. But I do hear a lot of good things about Carolina Keith. So if I was to recommend anybody on TA, he'd probably be the guy to probably go to. Just because I know people personally that have gone to him and said excellent things. So I mean, if his reputation stands, that says a lot to me personally. So that's just one person. But other than that, I mean, no. I mean, like I said, everybody has their own strategy. So I mean, you could literally go online right now and probably go on YouTube and find hundreds of videos on how to TA, and they could most of them will probably be the same, but some will be different.
And I'll co-sign Carolina Keith. I actually was learning some different things from his YouTube, even his live ones. Sometimes I'll just throw out, because he'll ask people in the chat to put out a coin and just kind of watch it. And then also there is TA channels within Crypto Underground too that gives some good understanding and just things to look through also, which is another tool in your wheelhouse.
That's all you got, Rob?
For now, that's all I
Yo,
got for now.
Rob tries to ambush me when I come on here. I swear.
Rob said, "They go Wolf. Let me get him." Oh no. Oh, Sue Bucks. Let me put her on the mic. Hey, Yvonne, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, ladies?
Hey, nothing
Hey,
much. How are you?
Vaughn.
Hey, so you know what? Why you guys were up here, and it's just a change of topic, really quick. What do you think about the Coinbase getting rid of the Coinbase Pro? If I read that right.
I don't think that I came across that yet. I'm not part of the. Oh no, I did hear something about it. I have definitely not dug into it because I just don't have Coinbase Pro. I know Wolf. Wolf, don't you have Pro?
I haven't used it in a couple months. So I have what's going on with it? Something with Bitcoin? You said?
No, from what I read, I was just seeing some information before I came on that they were going to eliminate the Coinbase Pro, and I wanted to make sure I was reading it right.
Oh, oh wow. Yeah, I'll dig into that real quick while I'm on here with you. But that would be interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, I just happened to see that before I jumped on, and I was like, what's happening? I just wanted to know the implications. Of course, I don't use the Coinbase Pro. I'm looking for a good like on ramp, off ramp. And so I wanted to know, one of the things that I was talking to about Big Rob as well is not having any coins on the exchange, but to be ready. I had some fiat on crypto.com, and I wanted to make sure. I was like, should I take the fiat off and be ready and just try to do a debit card situation, or is the fiat being on a crypto.com just waiting to be ready? Okay.
Uh, um, that's actually what we were discussing in the Discord. That's I think people were saying that how are you actually going to buy the dip and buy certain price points if you don't leave money on the exchange? But I don't know. I'm kind of adverse to leaving money on the exchange unless I have buy orders, and I haven't done buy orders in a while. I guess because I've lost money on exchange, so I'm a little like skeptical about just like letting my money chill and waiting for that moment. But what were you gonna say? Because I remember I cut in on you. Go
No, no, this is your space, yo. No, so
That's right.
Coinbase Pro, yeah, I respect that 100%. You know that. They're actually migrating. So Coinbase Pro is going to advanced trade. So it's not really going anywhere. It's just more in a sense of getting an upgrade. So that's what's happening with Coinbase Pro from just a quick search. Um,
Gotcha.
and then as far as wanting to buy the dip and not keeping crypto on exchanges, well, that just comes down to whether you're, no offense to anybody in here, okay, whether you're lazy or not. Because if you have money on, let's say, a hardware wallet, well, it only takes you what, 3 seconds to pop that bad boy out and send money over to your exchange to then buy the dip. So if you store USDC on the Stellar blockchain or Algo or whatever, and then you want to send that USDC to the exchange, well, you can certainly do so to then buy the dip. You don't have to leave it on there. It really just boils down to, and also, I mean, that's, you're sacrificing ease of use, sure, or convenience. But my thing is, you can't say, I wouldn't want to sacrifice my assets for convenience at all. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it takes 5 extra seconds to send it, and maybe an extra minute all in total, logging in, getting on, and then sending it. But come on, a minute, it's not going to hurt you. But unless you are somebody who's just going to leave some money on the exchange for like limit buy orders, but I wouldn't suggest leaving a shit ton on there for that.
And I will co-sign that. I would not be doing that, especially right now. We've been seeing way too many, hey, we're stopping transactions and we're not doing nothing because market volatility. And let me tell you, from somebody who is getting hit in my chest about the Celsius thing, um, I'm taking it with a grain of salt because, hey, that was the risk I was willing to take by using Celsius and potentially building a bigger bag weekly. So I know I've been keeping everything off the exchange, and even the other day when I swapped something into AVAX real quick because I knew AVAX was really fast, and I got it into Coinbase real quick, and I swapped it back into USDC. I know I did a couple extra steps, but it's just what I felt like doing at the time, and I felt like it got to the exchange really quick. And I mean, if you're trying to buy the dip and then that minute throws it off, then that really wasn't the true dip that you're waiting on, in my personal opinion. So I would just be very mindful. I mean, we've seen a whole lot more, like there was news on Voyager. There's news on a lot of them right now. So I would just be mindful. And if you wanted to leave a little bit, I would leave a little bit that you're willing to lose, because in this market right now and what's happening on these exchanges, you may really lose that. So that's just my 2 cents going off the back of what Wolf was just saying.
Yeah, good point. And absolutely, I'm going to follow that advice. Absolutely. So yeah, because I didn't even think of switching it out for XLM and putting it on my ledger. So yeah, I will absolutely do that. But also, I invited a friend to jump into this space as well. So I'm not sure if she's gonna speak or just listen, but just want to let you know I invited somebody here, Mika, who's under us.
Hey, Mika, thank you for coming to Dames on the Blockchain, and thank you, Yvonne, for spreading the word and getting more people in that may be interested. And we super appreciate you. We appreciate all of our community members that have been here since the beginning. Keep coming back and spreading the word. You guys make a huge difference, because without y'all, we wouldn't be here. Um, Also, while I seen Dior pop in here, FYI, for the people who have been following Swish Finance, the whitelist sale is going to start on July 6th. I'm still reading through. I'm trying to catch up on all the stuff. As you guys all know, I've been a little distant doing my housework, but I'm trying to stay up to date with things and keeping everybody kind of informed of what's going on when we know it also.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, Dior, if you want, or we can throw something in the nest regarding Switch Finance. I'll do it actually. Yeah, let me see here, because
Yeah, I just wasn't prepared that far. I was laying floor until 5 minutes before we started.
Thymeless, the floor layer.
Hey,
But
this is my last one. My last one.
good. So and I got some, since I have a few speakers up here. What are you guys' strategy for buying? What are you guys looking to do? Are you buying the dips now, or are you waiting? I know, Rob, you told us something a little earlier, but Yvonne, are you buying dips now, or are you just like waiting, or are you just like getting your ducks in a row? Sounds like you are.
I'm broke. No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And so, what I've been doing is just trying to educate myself more. And I've been taking Big Rob, because I've been making him just like try to help me with some of the TA, and try to learn, the support and resistant lines. I'm starting with that, starting with some simple stuff and trying to go through that. So I'm just, mainly for me, it's education.
Right, and that's what I was trying to tell a lot of people. Now is like the perfect time to kind of do a lot of research and get into the learning aspect of it, because it's kind of hard to do that when everything is pumping, and you're not really focused on that because you're focused on how good the prices are. So Now that everything is kind of, like in the dumps, you have that extra time to devote to learning, devote time to really learning what some of these keywords are and what these words mean, when it comes to crypto and investing, especially if you are new and you came in here last year when everything was pumping and looking great. So that's definitely a good idea, Yvonne.
Right, hopium? Is that you? Yeah, it's harder to do the research when everybody's living in hopium.
589. I'm sorry, yeah, you're not gonna be paying attention. You're just gonna be waiting for those prices. So yeah, that's this is the best time to actually get down, focus, and do some reading.
For sure. And I know that there was a lot of people upset with, I believe, wasn't it Uphold, Wolf Uphold, and another one. So it was the XRP and the other card. Will they'll
Global
still,
ID.
yeah, Global ID. They said that some of the cards are still going to run, but not the same way. But they're just not partnered with them anymore. And I know a lot of people are
Well,
pretty upset about that.
yeah, so they're going to be, so they're working on getting more card services back up and running after these ones shut down, but it's too early to talk about that stuff. So, which means they're still in like the brainstorm phase, probably.
Yeah, I think it's funny, well, it's funny, but then it's also looking at the trends that are going across crypto right now. It's just like between exchanges, the possibility of bankruptcy, the freezing transactions, and it's just like it's all they're laying the foundation right now and just keep building on top of it. Like this is like a big fucking thing of Jenga right now. Go ahead, Wolf.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to raise my hand. But I just want to find it. I just want to mark that it's kind of funny how everything kind of happens all at like the right timing. No such thing as coincidences, right? You know, again, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says, "Hey, if we lose, we're out of here." And then you get the global ID news where they're shutting down the XRP Mastercard debit card there that they introduced even after the lawsuit, which I find kind of funny. So that speaks volumes to me a little bit. And then you have exchanges like you said. Like Celsius, pausing all withdrawals because obviously they didn't have enough money in their treasury. And somebody defaulted on a couple loans. And same with Voyager, but Voyager got bailed out, and so didn't BlockFi. And then Voyager also set a default thing to I think it was Three Arrows Capital for, what was it?
Yes.
Quite a few $1 million. And then you have CoinFlex, who, oh God, just a shit show on both parties there, which is an exchange. The CEO came out and said, well, we paused withdrawals because Roger Ver, Bitcoin Jesus, owes us $47 million. Owes us $47 million. So we basically fucked all you users because we didn't have enough money in our treasury to basically cover all this. So we should, without saying it, we're at fault, but we're gonna blame somebody else for our own stupid mistakes. So yeah, just blame Roger Ver for this. That your funds are now lost for right now. And then they're trying to launch some token too at the same time to like raise funds or whatever, so people can start withdrawing their funds. So it's just kind of funny how exchanges will play it off, and then you see news like the Celsius CEO tries to leave the country and his passport gets whatever denied or something. Like, it's all just kind of funny, but it's unfortunate because
That
so many
motherfucker
people
better
have been
stay his
affected.
place at home.
Well, they're obviously investigating them, but it's kind of funny. So you have a couple different jurisdictions. So U.S., right? Because they're based out of their companies out of California, I believe, is what we recently learned. And I might be wrong on that, but I think so. So they're under U.S. jurisdiction, right? Whereas the Terra Labs that was dissolved over in South Korea, had different regulations. They weren't as, hefty as, the United States. If something like this happened, we saw what happened with Terra, right? We saw what happened to the stablecoin, and guess what happened? All he got is like, hey, the government's gonna meet with you. He violated some shit, but he's not in jail. He's not being restricted. I mean, maybe he's being restricted from moving around the country, but it doesn't seem like he's getting as much heat from his government. Maybe it's just not transparent. It is with the good old USA. So we'll see. But a lot of shit, a lot of variables over the last month have played catalyst roles in what's been going on with the the market. It's the economy itself around the world, of inflation hitting 40-year plus highs, to facing supposed wars and things like this nature, and there's so many variables on top of TA that we have to factor in. So crazy times.
Oh, for sure. And I remember if it's just his mother or if he is also a citizen, a dual citizen of Israel, because that was one of the things, and supposedly that's where he was headed. And I was just like, but I do believe Israel has an extradition as long as there's like a warrant or something. It's some convoluted thing, but I think that they do have an agreement. But it's just like, no, you better keep your ass at home. You got things to do, partner. Get this stuff running, because if at any moment they open it up for even 5 seconds, I'm getting my Matic. I'm taking that as a loss right now. So in my brain, it's gone, but I'm keeping a very close eye on that, because, let them do an update and that shit opens real quick and nobody really knows, because I'll be checking. And I can just take my Matic off of there. I will definitely be doing it. You guys might get the news a little bit late because I'm going to move first and then tell people later. But yeah, I'm definitely keeping an eye on it because I would really like to get that back.
She gonna get it off and tell y'all later. Yo, it's open. I don't blame
I
you.
mean, my fingers will only do so many things at one time.
I feel you. I ain't mad at you.
Hey, for us newbies, I don't have anything on Celsius, but if somebody had something on a site like that, how would you do that, Timeless?
You just got to keep logging in, got to keep looking. And just the same way you would put it on there and take it off any other time, you would do it the same way. But as of right now, these platforms have frozen all movement. Like, I believe the only thing you can do is deposit. Like, okay, if you're dumb enough to keep depositing, I mean, that's kind of on you at that point. But yeah, they said we are stopping all transactions from withdrawals, from swaps, and something else. The only thing that they said that they haven't stopped is deposits. But yeah, I wouldn't go that far and do that. So yeah, it's just monitoring, like logging in and seeing if that alert's still there. If that alert's still there, obviously you can't move it around. But if that alert comes down or something like that, it just takes your time. It doesn't take much time to log in and see, but you have to take the time and be intentional, saying, okay, I'm going to check however many times a day or once a day or whatever is pertaining to you. For me, I kind of want to do it a couple times a day because I have enough Matic on there to make it make a difference to me. The majority of my Matic is on Celsius. So I've taken quite a bit of hit, but the price of Matic has gone down. It was at 50 cents today. So let it keep dropping and I can easily refill those bags. I won't get it I probably will never get it at the level that I first bought it at. But yeah, it's just being due diligence, being mindful, paying attention to the exchange. Just know that they won't update the crypto Twitter that quickly. So I'm not saying that it will open. I'm just being facetious, essentially, and paying attention and logging on because I would really like that back.
Right, and to continue on that, Timeless, if you can continue telling us, like when you are doing strategy, do you put different coins on just different exchanges as holding, or do you just mainly keep everything in your cold storage, or how is some good strategies like that?
I normally hold self custody. I do break my rules every once in a while. So like, I was making good money there for a while before everything really started crashing, and I pulled everything off. Like I had Steak Joe on Trader Joe's site, did a little bit of that. And so things like that I would put on there with a risk evaluation. I would not put everything on there. But I definitely weigh options and look at the credibility within the DEX or the exchange or whatever I might be looking at, and then I do my pros and cons on that. I did have a very, very small amount of VeChain that I just hadn't gone around to taking off Binance US. And when they did that updated terms with the biometrics and all of that, you all know that I had a whole lot to say about that. I just forfeited that. And I mean, it was so little, it really didn't matter. But for me, leaving on the exchange, I don't do unless it's on Qcoin. I've set some buy orders in there because it's getting close and I don't want to stay up all night and monitor it. Then I'll put a small amount on there and just kind of do that. It really just depends on what it is, and then my risk to reward factor and my pros and cons. Then I kind of mix all that up together and just see what I'm comfortable with.
Gotcha. Thanks for that.
No problem. What you got, Wolf?
Yeah, I'm just gonna add some info here. So listen to you guys speak. So yeah, with something that happened like with Celsius, all you can do is really check because it's a centralized exchange, so they have complete control over your assets, right? Like you might have bought them, but I would more along the lines of think of it as an IOU until it's off the website or off the exchange itself and in your wallet. Um, because it's technically not yours. It's their keys, it's their crypto, even though you put money in their website or their exchange. Technically it's not yours still because they have complete control over those assets. Until then, they hand over the keys to you when they send it to your wallet and say, okay, here you go. And then you can say, okay, I got this new shiny car or this used, basically, which is your assets, and you have complete control over it. But unfortunately, with centralized exchanges, you don't have that luxury. You're putting money on their website, but they're in the driver's seat, of your car. And technically, it is their car because it's their exchange. So that's kind of one of those. So you would want to leave it on, your hardware wallet, obviously, for your assets. I'm sure you know that already, but obviously, it comes down to risk tolerance too. If you're using those dexes or anything, or keeping any money on exchange, are you willing to lose those assets if something shitty was to happen, kind of thing. So you kind of have to weigh those risk factors when you're going all about it and stuff. And then the thing with the apps, with the biometrics, most applications on the Apple Store and Android phones that do like the biometrics allow you to log in with that. They do store that. So it's not just, obviously Binance US, but if you look at most terms and conditions for most, they'll actually store that via the cloud, and that's how you're able to log in each time. But a lot of us probably just skip right past that and don't even see that in there in the fine print. So, but if you take the extra couple of minutes, it's in there, and it would shock a lot of people, obviously. But that's just how it goes. They sneak one by you so you can use the app because if you don't agree to the terms or whatever, you're not using it.
Right, and that's what Oculus and I had talked about before is like taking the time, because some people will just log in and then see that there's an updated terms and just push that okay, or I agree. And then you really don't know what you're agreeing to. So Oculus and I talk about it all the time because sometimes, well, we know she works extra hard because she has her 9 to 5, but I'm a small business owner and I'm really early retired. So I have a little bit of the extra time and I'll read through it and I'll screenshot it to her and send it to her. Then she'll get the time and read through it. Or like she can't have access to crypto.com. So when they throw some crazy shit in there, I screenshot it and send it to her and we talk about it. But that is a big reason why we always say just take the extra time. If it's not a dire need to use that exchange, if you're just going to check to see the values, if you have something on there, close it out if you just don't have a few minutes to read it. Just, you want to get your eyes on it because, I mean, I knew in clause 3 with Celsius that I had the potential of losing things. Did I think we would ever see that transpire, especially with Celsius, how they were then opening new places like in Las Vegas? And no, I didn't, but learn from my mistakes. Don't repeat them if you don't have to, but definitely read it and pay attention because I know Oculus and I definitely sit and we talk about the inner workings of some of these clauses. And Wolf has even brought up, oh yeah, and this, and this. It is pretty much the same thing, so they're already taking it. I just decided, especially with Binance US, didn't use them much, and it was fucking hell to get that account for me, for them to even activate it, that I was just like, you know what, forget it. There's not that amount of VeChain that's on there is not that much, so I'm just going to let that go. But Oculus, what do you have to say on the back end of like some of these terms and conditions? Because we definitely be hashing it out behind the scenes.
Well, I lost a ton of Dogecoin on Cryptopia, so I ain't never get that shit back. When Cryptopia got hacked, I think I had over 20,000 Doge on there, and we all know the crazy mass pump that Doge had, and I never ever was able to benefit from that because my shit got hacked and stolen, and that's why I'm not a fan of even people just leaving $50 on a damn account. I mean, nobody wants their fucking money stolen. Let's just put it like that. Even if it's $10, you don't want nobody stealing from you. So, the terms and conditions, a lot of people don't even realize that, because I can just tell by the things they say. I can't even get the coins I have off the exchange. I'm like, why not? Because I only have this amount and I didn't buy that amount. There's a lot of little fine print and reading that people actually don't do when they hop on these exchanges and actually start buying crypto. And like I said, take it from me. I've learned the hard way. There's exchanges now that I have coins on that I can't get off because I'm not going on that exchange and putting money on there and buying more. I mean, I think I said last week when I first started crypto, I was signed up to like 18 exchanges, and I was using all of them because there were projects that I wanted on them, and like YoBit, Hit BTC. I mean, oh my God, there's so many exchanges. Do I still have some stuff on there? Most likely, but in order for me to get it off of there, I have to go through so much. So I'm just leaving it on there. But I know people don't like reading the fine print because they call it fine print for a reason. It's small. It's a lot of it to read, and it's a lot of terms in there you may not understand. You may actually have to get your dictionary out, But I mean, it's beneficial to you just from speaking from experience, because like I said, I've had money taken off of the exchange before, and I haven't gotten it back. And do I think I'm getting it back? Hell no, I'm not getting that shit back. That's just like, I got to take that on the chin. But, I don't want anybody to lose anything on exchange. So, I know we say this all the time, but it's only because it happened to me before, and it really doesn't feel good. And damn sure it didn't feel good after Doge was pumping last year, and I didn't get to take any of that profit at all. So, yeah, that's what I got to say on that.
Right. I'm going to let Big Rob go. And then there was some breaking news that just came out that could be kind of wait to see. But let's see what you have to say, Big Rob, and then we'll talk about it.
All right. I heard a lot of defaulting, which kind of brought up to I'm not political. I'm not trying to get political. I was watching his Glenn Beck video, and he was talking about how Japan is going to default as an economy. So that's the first thing I want to bring up on what you guys think about that. And second off, do you guys think the over leveraged crypto exchanges are going to be the first to go? before like the exchanges that don't allow the leverage trading, if that makes sense.
Well, I think it's just a toss-up right now because what's coming out that a lot of people didn't believe some of these exchanges were doing, because like Wolf was saying and like Oculus was saying, when you have your assets on the exchange, they're not actually yours because you've given them rights to it until you take them off. Then they're supposed to fulfill that within the time of taking it off. But the thing is behind the scenes, we don't know which exchanges are leveraging your assets for their gains, or putting, like, we've been seeing all these defaults happening, and I haven't heard much about the Japan defaulting, but I do know, yes, yesterday or the day before, Russia defaulted on their first, oh, what is it called? Now I'm drawing a blank. But essentially the same thing you were just talking about. But they also said when they got sanctioned that that was really what was going to happen. They were going to default on, why can't I think of that? But I'll look it back up to refresh my memory. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that. And this is the big thing that we've been hearing, and
Oh,
people
yeah,
didn't really.
Russia defaulted on their foreign debt.
Yes, foreign
That's
debt. They
exactly what they
defaulted on
said.
the, yes.
Yep.
So yeah, we're going to see a lot of this, but then the big conversation has been, this is the big reset, and a lot of people were just taking it as keywords, buzzwords, and not truly understanding what it is. And when you have currency cycles, we're seeing China build up their currency, but it's funny that Russia defaults on their foreign debt, but yet as of 4 days ago, the ruble was the strong. It might not be the wealthiest currency, but it is, the ruble is the strongest currency as of 4 days ago. We know money situations change all the time, but you're seeing China raise up their infrastructure. They're creating they created the digital yuan and all of that. So we're seeing this mixture, and it's just getting very turbulent. And with that being said, we're going to be seeing the fluctuation. The U.S. dollar kind of went up in value around the same time because of people were pulling out of assets, not just crypto, but pulling out of assets. And then what they were doing from that, they were also then putting it back into their fiat, because people are really giddy on their assets, from the stock to crypto to whatever. I mean, the only thing that nobody is giddy on right now in our day and age, and if you're younger, it might not even ring a bell, is bonds. We're not in a time of a U.S. bond being appreciated at all. So when you look at these different money markets and what they're doing, you're seeing those shifts, and we're not done seeing them. I don't think the U.S. dollar is going to fail like in the next 3 years. But if they don't start doing something to combat the inflation and quit doing the printing, because I believe it, I don't have my notes in front of me because I write these things down. I believe as a, it was in the 80%. I don't want to give a specific number, but 80 something percent of the money in circulation right now in the United States was printed during the pandemic or in the last 12 or 16 months. So that just gives you an inkling of kind of what's going on. And it's very turbulent right now.
Yeah, Russia actually financially kind of isolated themselves with this Ukraine conflict. You know, they had marquee businesses like McDonald's, Starbucks, and Nike, and they've left. So they were saying that, you know, their financial system is increasingly isolated, and they they have actually defaulted on a lot of their foreign debt. And the last time they did that was in 1918. So it's actually going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with this conflict.
For sure, and especially if there's more to come with this NATO expansion. But what I was going to say was the breaking news was that supposedly the U.S. SEC had denied Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF application. And I do know that we were seeing a lot of stuff coming from Grayscale saying, hey, you deny this, we're taking you to court. So, FYI, as it's being reported, even though we did talk about definitely digging in, we're on the space right now, so I don't want to use up all my bandwidth trying to research while we're talking. But as it's being released, like in the last 10 minutes, it had the SEC has denied Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF application. What you
Go
got,
ahead.
Wolf?
Yeah, go ahead, Wolf.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I was just posting about it. I'm sure you guys saw that I posted the one and then deleted it and then reposted. But the head guy there over at Grayscale, I always fuck up his name because it's so long. But he said we filed a lawsuit against the SEC 7 minutes ago.
Oh, so
So
they did file.
in response to them rejecting it. Yep. Yep.
Oh, so that was in their back pocket.
Oh yeah, they were
And I
waiting.
mean, oh, they were waiting for sure. But, and then they kept throwing those threats around. We will take you to court if you deny it. If you deny it, we're taking you to court. So they must have had all that ready because I had seen that, I had seen it at 6:58, and then Big Rob had that question. So be since I seen it at 6:58 to 7:08 right now. Wow, they acted quickly. They had all the paperwork ready.
Wolf, you talking about Michael Sonnenschein?
Yeah, I cannot pronounce his name for the life of me. No, but yeah, that's
Uh,
him.
uh, well, we'll see what's going to happen with that. That's going to be pretty interesting. That was pretty quick. They must have already had their lawyers up and ready. They must have already had. This was already drafted, of course. This
Oh,
was
months
definitely,
ago.
or hell yeah,
Oh,
this was
for
already
sure.
drafted. Yeah.
They had that
Somebody,
shit in their back pocket. Said, "I dare you. I dare you. I told you not to do it."
you'll see. Did somebody request to speak, or did they?
Yes, it was Big Rob. He had got kicked out, and then he came back. So, or he had left, or whatever had happened, but he just requested back.
Oh, okay. All right, all right. Let's see. You know what? I also just read. I got a notification that uh, Cash App is actually allowing you to take your loose change basically and put it into Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. I'm actually a big fan of roundups. I actually use Acorns for that. And didn't really think much of it when I got into Acorns about 2 years ago, but um, I use my debit card a lot, and I actually looked at it the other day, and there's a lot of money in there. So I think that's pretty cool actually for people who use Cash App a lot. I don't use Cash App a lot, but I do have it. But it's just pretty interesting to see, even with the current state and the what's going on with the market, there's still a lot of adoption of Bitcoin and other things. So yeah, like I always say, I think the crypto's future is still very bright, even though right now the market is muddy and not very a good, very happy place to be.
For sure, and it's a purging season. Like, okay, there was a lot of exchanges. Like, that's the least of what people worry about. People think about rugs. They think about exploits or whatever these keywords are. Well, a lot of people have never even thought that an exchange would just disappear or be kicked out, and we're seeing that. So, in the season right now, we are in a purge season, and so a lot of the exchanges that are day-to-day conversation for all of us in crypto may not be part of the conversation in 3 to 4 years. It might be something else that replaces them. Some of the bigger exchanges will more than likely stick around, but I mean, we've heard rumblings of Coinbase and adding that bankruptcy clause, and now that catches me by pause. It always caught me, but let me tell you, after the last few weeks, it really makes me take pause and pay attention when those clauses are put in there. Because what glitter might not be gold, because we don't know what's going on in those back offices or what they're doing or the things that they've leveraged. So I think it's good to be mindful. I use or Cash App a lot, so I might have to go back and look at that.
Oh,
But
oh yeah. If you use it a lot, I would definitely do it. Since we have a few people that tune into our show and love Bitcoin. That's a way you can invest. Sis. Put your 50 cent in there and your 35 cent, and maybe by 2050 you'll have a whole one.
but I mean, will I ever have access to that? Is the thing. I mean, that was the big reason why I stopped using robbing the hood over there. I just didn't really like them off top. And then it was just like, oh, okay, I have these assets. But then when you try to contact them to try to move it, oh, no, we don't do that. Okay, so my assets really have never been mine. I know that they've changed that now recently or working on changing. I haven't fully kept up to date. I know it's one or the other, but yeah, I didn't mess with Robin the Hood. I sold my stocks I had on there and my crypto that was on there just because I was like, oh, so this isn't mine. You just want me to feel the warm and fuzzies inside, like, oh, it's under my account, but it's not really mine because I can never take it off. All I can do is cash it out.
Right. And well, if I'm going to go to use, I think you had your hand up, but I was just going to say a lot of these exchanges, that's why I don't necessarily like to leave money on them. To me, they almost kind of function almost like banks. That's why they kind of like, there's like, they charge you to take your money off of it. They charge you for a lot of things. And it's funny how the market is actually making a lot of these exchanges stop things. They're pausing this, they're pausing that. So that kind of worries me a little bit. That's why, again, I don't necessarily like to leave too much money on an exchange, even if I am trying to catch a certain dip. I'd rather take the chance and have it in, you know, cold storage in a wallet and send it there. Hey, maybe when I'm trying to buy the dip, I'm sending something to an exchange. It's taking me 20 minutes. And then by the time it gets there, I've lost the dip. But you know what? I'd rather take that chance than leave my shit on there and it get got, because that's not a good feeling either. All right, go ahead, Wolf.
Yeah, I think the Cash App thing, the spare change or the roundup as they're calling it, I think it's pretty smart. I mean, Acorns has had nothing but success with that. So I mean, it doesn't shock me that someone's trying to do that with crypto association, including stocks and ETF stuff, along with that. Because some people might not use that, Acorn, because you know I don't know if you can spend money on that or not. I know you can invest, but I wasn't 100% on that. But with Cash App, you can send, receive, money. So to have that in there incorporated with it, it's a nice new little feature in there for some people that use it, obviously, either daily or for whatever they use it for. And then the other thing was shit. I lost my train of thought there. I got foggy there. Was these exchanges, right? That you're saying, so we had NFT season, we had DAO season, we had node season. Now we're having exchange season where they're going down, where some are just pausing exchanges, just pausing all things. Or all functions on their website other than deposits, which just blows my mind because if you're going to pause withdrawals, you might as well pause deposits, knowing that someone's not going to be able to get their funds. But whatever, they just want to exploit their users. But it just, no one wants to think, sure, no one wants to hear or think that these exchanges are going to go down. But unfortunately, it's a real thing that does happen. We've seen it over the last several years since 2013. We've seen them either go down due to hacks, people stealing the money, stealing money from the inside. I mean, multiple things. And it's not too shocking that they've over leveraged themselves or overextended their marketing and or lending power to outside influencers, or banks to get them in or institutions on board. And then now they're all defaulting. So now they're all screwed, right? So now they're all scrambling behind the scene to get money and bail each other out. So yeah, I mean, it's worrisome when you start to see exchanges pause their withdrawals. But no, it was due to failure on their part to really do the risk tolerance, in case something like this was to happen. So it shows the level of maturity still isn't there in this market. And that's why I still say we're in that infancy stage, because we still are an emerging market, because heck, we're still on fucking regulated, right? So, it's just, yeah, that's my thought on it.
Right. And then the Fed, the federal government, then after all of us normal people have filed our taxes and all of that, now they're talking about, well, wait, maybe you don't have to claim your crypto stuff so that we have a little bit more time to get true guidelines and stuff. Of course, you do that because you know the big companies have filed those extensions and they haven't filed. And they have, I believe, in the United States, I believe it's July. I believe if they are US based but out of the country, they had until sometime in June. So, yeah, I think it's very interesting once the little people have filed and they stayed on our asses about crypto taxes, this and that. I was reading a little bit earlier today, so I don't have the full skinny on it. Probably will by next week, but I think it's real crazy that now it's, oh, by the way, maybe now we're not going to have you file it at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what's going to happen with that and with these exchanges. I'm just keeping an eye on them. I'm actually proud of myself at this point to say that currently I don't have anything on the exchanges. I'm not talking about the ones I mentioned earlier from like 2017 because I don't count those because I'm not going on those to pick up 50 Tron because fuck TRX. I'm not wasting my time to log into a exchange to get 50 Tron. But yeah, I'm just glad I don't have any money on an exchange right now. So yeah.
And big topic, people getting new phones, people doing new things. Um, SIM swaps are real. I've seen it a few times. I've seen Wolf reply to a few while it was actively happening to somebody. So if you're going to use your phone for crypto, which I do not suggest, but if you're going to have it on your phone in any capacity, you need to be protected. And I personally am waiting for my YubiKey to come in. I got one that was a little bit more expensive because it can actually go on my computer and my iPhone because it has both the Lightning thing. But that's one thing that Wolf has shared with us, that Oculus has shared with us um, on multiple occasions. And now, so you start noticing more SIM swaps, hacking, people, littler, us regular people getting attacked more and more so when people know you're in crypto and you start seeing money cycles and currency cycles going down across the world. That's when these bad actors are sitting by and waiting as opportunists. So a lot of people listening and that will listen later, well, it hasn't happened to me yet. I'll just keep doing this. I feel like I'm pretty safe. Your phone is not safe. It doesn't matter how much you put on there. You need to have another line of security in there. So while we're talking about crypto and moving things from exchanges and all of those things, the middle ground right there is going to be security. And we can overlook it and, well, it hasn't happened to me. Well, it's happened to a lot of people. Even Oculus has lost things. So it doesn't matter who you are, how safe you think you've been. There are devices and ways of making a safety net to help in order for, because once you're getting SIM swap, there's nothing you can do in the meantime. So being proactive is better than being reactive. And I just wanted to throw that out there because we see it even more so when the markets go down. That's when those opportunities come out of the shadows and start attacking the little people.
Right. I actually I think I posted it about a couple of weeks ago. Just upgraded my iPhone. But I went into my Verizon account because I'm with Verizon, and there was an option to actually I tagged Wolf in it because he was the one that told me you could do this. I think you can stop porting of something like that. Maybe I'm getting the language wrong. Wolf, am I getting the language wrong? Yeah.
No,
What is it,
it's
Wolf?
called a yo. It's called yo. You crack me up, girl. It's called a port freeze. God damn. I'm not even drinking, and you making my ass laugh. It's called a port freeze, or a number freeze. Depends on the carrier you have, but most of them call it a port freeze.
See, well, yeah. See, that's me. Yeah. So, and I think Brian is here, and he asked me how could he do it, and I was like, I'm not sure, but I think the option was right there in my account. You know, you log into your account, and it was right there. All I had to do was hit a little button, and it turned the notch on. So I was actually very, very happy to see that. And then I got worried because it seems like if that's actually in your account, it must be a problem. You know, like why would that actually be as an option? You know, in your cellular service account. So thanks for that, Wolf.
Yeah, I think it's 1 in 4 people now. It's almost
Damn.
as common as it's almost as common as your identity getting stolen, and it's only going to become more of a problem as we go forward. Because guess what we're using in our everyday lives? Cell phones. You guessed it. Congrats, because we use it for everything to connect. Because it's basically a mobile computer right in your hand that can receive calls, text messages, etc. So you know, a lot of people are just using this for their everyday device, kind of like the Samsung Note, I believe is what it's called, or you know the big phones there, you know the iPhone Pluses, you know, basically using it as like a mini tablet slash computer, you know, but as a phone. And yeah, I mean these things unfortunately are getting more and more common. Um, and unfortunately, you know, I was talking with I think it's called a Fani CEO the other day. We were going back and forth with each other about, you know, protecting yourself from SIM swaps.
Oh
You
yeah, I
know,
saw that.
I don't see eye to eye, but I respect what their company's doing because they're trying to protect people, you know, because they have their own SIM card and their own plan, you know, where it's like $100 a month or something like that. And they basically protect you up to like $1 million or $5 million if anything happens. But as soon as they're alerted or whatever, you know, they alert you, etc., and they basically stop it, you know, 99.9% of the time from it even happening, because they'll monitor your number and stuff, and they also have a risk tool. They said, you know, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but the way he
we're all
came
at risk.
at you was not real professional.
Well, he didn't know who he was talking to, so I'll give him that because he was a little ignorant in that, but it's fine. But you know, these things are, like I said, are only going to become more common. So the best thing you can do is try to take the steps necessary in order to protect yourself from these happening. You know, from these happening to you. So obviously, it depends on your carrier. I don't know AT&T for me specifically. You know, I couldn't log in. I had to call, and then they had to put it on, and then also I had to visit my local store, and then on top of that, I put a SIM lock pin on my phone specifically, which you can do on your iPhone as well as an added measure. And any Android device as well. But you know, you want to look up those steps and what you can do, because you can easily Google it too, and say, you know, what are the steps can I do to protect myself? You know, and I always tell people this: get yourself something where you can a program, whether it's um, credit monitoring stuff that includes financial stuff. So you can put in like your driver's license, your social, et cetera, your phone number, your emails, and see, you know, how many things you pop up on as being breached, and it'll notify you anytime there's a breach, you know, because you want to monitor it starts at personal security, and then that's why I always preach that personal security and then crypto security, because it really starts at your personal level. You want to make sure you're protected there, and then you can focus on your crypto stuff, you know, before you jump into it. But unfortunately, you know, it's always the other way around.
Right. And I will say that the majority of us listening or will be listening, chances are your information has been compromised during one of these companies. I get notifications all the time. And when your information has been compromised by a company and your name is in that database that has been potentially exposed to whoever's gotten in there, they have to pay for your not monitoring your credit and things like that. I'm drawing a blank, but I have it. I have it started on multiple companies because, of course, my stuff has been even. I just, no shit, just got a letter from my kids' old school, the elementary school. And two of my three kids, all their information had been part of a potential exploit to their system. So, I mean, it's out there, but when that happens, they have to do credit monitoring and that for you. It is legally binding. What's up, Wolf?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and the other thing is too, a lot of people don't think about this, and I really want you to think about it. When you sign up on Facebook, when you sign up on Twitter and make a personal account, when you sign up for an account on Indeed, when you sign up an account on LinkedIn, guess what you're doing? They make money off of your data. So they will sell your data, your information, your first and last name, your date of birth, your hometown. They will sell your data for money. And you're not seeing a single dime of it unless you're somebody on YouTube or TikTok, using a personal alias, where you get paid a little bit of percentage from it. But other than that, you're somebody who's probably just not receiving any of the compensation from that, and they're selling your data, and that gets leaked. So, and you sign that away in the terms and conditions. So there's another example, and I'm sure many of us have shopped at Target, Walmart. They've had data breaches, just from online shopping. Okay, there's your address, your physical address. There's a partial last four digits of your credit card. Sure, it's not a big deal, but whatever, it's there. Your first and last name, all these different things. It's not just crypto that's being like breached. It's more so happening in your personal life than it is in crypto.
Not Target. Damn, not the.
Yes, Target girl, you better believe it.
Shit.
They've had 3 hacks.
I just got an information from J.C. Penney's. How long ago
What?
has most people seen J.C. Penney's?
They're not
Yeah,
around anymore, are they? They're not around
I
anymore.
guess they are because my
Damn.
information just got fucking used off their shit. Well, it was accessed. So yeah.
J.C. Penney, not the Target. We can't do shit out here. But yeah, this is true though. I think was it Equifax or Experian when they got that breach? Because
Equifax.
yes, I was a part of that breach, and they've been monitoring my credit for free. You're right, Thomas. And they still have a class action lawsuit going on. I was getting notifications the other day. Do I want to continue or do I want to be, paid? I was like, nah, just keep
when are we getting our
monitoring my
money?
credit for free. I don't
'Cause I
want the
was part of
money.
that too.
No, I just want to.
Give me my 3 cents.
Exactly. That's why I just said no. I don't want your $5 freaking check. Give me a damn break. Just keep on. Let me log in and do the monitoring thing that they've been doing.
For sure. I mean, the only one that I opted for my money is because, not MoneyGram, but they're actually Walmart's MoneyGrams, and Walmart Send is under scrutiny as of yesterday or the day before. The government, the federal government's coming after them for allowing people to send fraudulent wires. But Western Union, and years ago, my kids were babies, and my husband had seen something, and he was paying for it while he was in Iraq, and of course, that's what we all started learning was fraudulent. And so I just got a letter in the mail because I turned it in like, oh, okay, yeah, we got. Then it became a common thing. We were in the very first group of like, oh, this is a real thing now. And I got a thing in the mail. Hey, fill this out. We have settled, and we are going to give you 100% of what you sent out. And so I'm waiting on that. I had till July to turn it in, and I turned that shit in December. So run me my coins.
not run me my coin. Oh yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't just a little bit. I want that. If I can get it back now, even all these years later, give that to me.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of security that we have to, do to protect ourselves out here is crazy. But at the end of the day, you know what? It's worth it. Because having your identity stolen is something very hard to fight. I know a lot of people who are still fighting, with their identity stolen because it's not that easy just to say it wasn't me, my identity was stolen, and you think it's going to be wiped off your credit. Oh, hell no. Some of these creditors don't even go for that. They make you fight and fight and fight for that, you know. So definitely should be out here protecting yourself. Go ahead, Wolf.
No, I was gonna say I had my identity stolen in 2013.
Oh.
So I had to go through the whole process of dealing with credit card companies, my own bank, putting a complete security freeze on my all three credit bureaus, like, and rolling through the punches from that. And that took, I think, 2 years to complete the whole process.
Right.
Well,
So it is a lengthy process.
I wish, because my identity was stolen in real form and then on cyber world. I had stopped to help this chick. I was pregnant with my daughter, so back in 2004, and tried to help this girl. Well, somehow she swiped my wallet, and
Oh.
so I just recently got her form of employment off of my credit, which was she got a warrant under my name and she was a stripper. So one of my jobs of on my public record up until last year, from 2004 to last year, I was a stripper. So yeah, that was real nice. So when I'm going in and applying at animal hospitals and stuff, yeah, you can see that. Oh, a stripper? No, I was not a stripper. I mean, to each their own. Do what you do, but I was a stripper.
I'm not laughing at you, but that's just like, that's crazy. Like, of
Right,
all the
and
things to see on your work record, a stripper. What
right.
the hell?
Oh my gosh, right. And then the fact that she also got stopped weeks later. I was already in New York. It was right before my husband and I were going to get married, and I got a call because of course it's public record and my phone has been the same. I got a call and stating that so and so attorney was looking for me, this, that, or whatever. Come to find out, she gave all my information when she got stopped, and I had a warrant out for my arrest. And I was like, hey, I can't come out there. I'm pregnant. I'm about to give birth. Can't get on a plane. So what should I do? And it's been a constant fight. I mean, a lot of it was handled in the first couple years, but hey, now we're here at going into 2023 here soon, and there's still some implications from that I still deal with.
Yeah, that's damn, that sucks. But
Bitch, stripper.
about this little relief bounce that we had, and we've had it. I mean, it seemed like, like I said, I was checking my port. It seemed like it things were in the green for I think a couple of days for me, or at least maybe a month, maybe like 3 or 4 days for me. Did anybody feel like, that was the market correcting itself and things are going to get better? Because I know a few people saying that, we're not in the bear market, look what happened, et cetera, et cetera. But I didn't believe that. Wolf, what you got to say? I know you got something to say.
Bro, come on. Come on, man. Come
They thought it
on,
was
man.
gone.
Duh, jeez, you will see anybody trying to pump their bags. We're not in the bear market, we're in a bull market. Send it to the fucking moon. XRP 589 tonight. What's up by midnight? Just because it moved up like 8 cents. Great. Round of applause, please. Hello, we're back down at 32 cents. Okay, calm your shit. Okay. It was literally just a rejection. I mean, it was literally a little. It was way oversold. We needed some relief. MACD was starting to cross over a little bit, so we had a little relief, right? I mean, that's all it really was. It wasn't anything to get excited over. And then here we have a clear indicator, and now we have this catalyst of the. I'm sure it'll be used as such from the whales. I'm sure we'll go back under 20K. And as the MACD is going red, if I'm not mistaken, from the last time I looked, I haven't looked in a couple days, but it was going from green to red, back down, and it looked like we got a rejection. So, here we are. The grayscale news comes out, so I wouldn't be shocked. So we'll see, but I mean, it wasn't anything to get excited over. I mean, sure, come on, some assets out there that are gaining 100% in 7 days, sure. something to give a round of applause to, because it's kind of hard for projects to do that, in the market we're in. But obviously keep in mind it's not going to last. What goes up comes back down, right? And vice versa. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, it was definitely just a little tiny minuscule little saying, hey, here's some compensation for your losses, and then back down to the loss. So that's all.
Yeah, as you said it wasn't a big deal, but you could have fooled me because I thought people were going to just start throwing their fucking money in the streets when they saw that. It was like, oh shit, what's going on? There were a few people that were very, very happy about that small relief bounce, but you know, I I was reading that things like this actually happen in the bear market. You're going to get relief bounces. I mean, I've heard a lot of chart readers say this. I've heard you say it, Wolf. So to me, it was no surprise. And I've actually seen it before happen in 2018. There's always, you had small little relief bounces. Sometimes, it wasn't necessarily, in the red for the whole, bear market. But, yeah, I.
Yeah, we didn't get anything that said, "Hey, this is a trend reversal on the charts whatsoever." We didn't see that. We just went back up a little bit, and now look where we're back at. We're coming back down again. There was no confirmation. But people, obviously, emotional investors or people that are leverage trading will post, "Oh, let's go," because they want their bags to be pumped, or their hit, their sells to hit, those type of things. So it's just, there's multiple variables there, but really it does boil down to human emotion. And I wish, people that invest, if I could give one piece of advice in investing in general, is just eliminate that shit. Leave it at the front door if you can, or at least work on it every day, because it'll fuck you over.
And if you know nothing else about charts, learn. I mean, it doesn't even take much to learn about trend lines. Like, watch the trend, and if it doesn't break that trend line going up, then it more than likely is going to get rejected, and you're going to be held there at the bottom, grabbing a falling knife. And at the end of the day, we know, even if you don't know charts, you've heard that term, and that we know that's not what we want to do.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who actually don't really put much stock in the charts. I've heard a lot of investors necessarily don't feel like it's a tool. I've even heard some influencers, kind of talk bad about chart readers, but I think they only do that because they don't know how to fucking read charts, So it just seems like it's being a little shade being
That
thrown
used
that
to be
way.
me. I know you remember when I was like, yeah, charts in crypto. Yeah, okay, maybe the stocks, but maybe not in crypto. But I've changed my tune, and that's why I've even publicly said, okay, I said that publicly, but I have learned the opposite. And just like Wolf was saying earlier, it's not 100%, 100% every time. It's just a tool. Because if it was 100% all the time, we would all be freaking millionaires and billionaires.
Right, right. And I actually don't remember that actually, Thymeless. So we have something to talk about later. Nonstop. But no, I was actually talking about a few influencers that would say stuff about chart readers, and actually their disdain for chart readers actually made me follow a few and listen to them. So it's so I'm glad they actually did talk shit about chart readers and people that do TA, because it kind of made me want to look into why you feel this way. And then when I looked into why they feel that way, I'm like, oh, this is too technical for you. You don't understand it, so that's why you feel like it's all fluff. Go ahead, Wolf.
Hey, yeah, I mean, I'm not biased at all, because I could say shit about both sides. They're both annoying in my opinion. Just keep quiet and just focus on your shit. Because you have people that are chart readers, but then talk shit about the actual projects or crypto itself, and then you have people that don't read charts and talk shit about people that chart, saying that it's, like you said, worthless and stuff. When in reality, it can paint a whole picture for you. For several months. So yeah, it's just it's funny to see the back and forth, but I can definitely see it because I got a gripe for both sides.
Yeah, you do have those people out here who only read charts just to basically pull a profit. They don't really care about the project. They don't care about investors. They don't care about anything about the project. It's just all as, used as a means to an end. That's fine. That's cool if that's how you want to play it. But I'm actually looking into these projects differently. Hell yeah, do I want to make money? Absolutely. But a lot of these projects I invest in, I do believe in them. I'm just not looking at them for money grabs. Do I get into some projects for money grabs? Absolutely. But the majority of the projects I am invested in, I do care about the investors. I do care about their roadmap. I've heard chart readers shit on white papers. I don't give a fuck about no white paper. I mean, I've heard some crazy stuff, but you know what? Like I always say, that doesn't bother me because I know what I'm listening to them for. And it's not that. I'm listening to you for your technical analysis. I really don't give a shit what you think about Strong, what you think about XRP, what you think about ADA. I'm just using you, just like you're using the charts to make money. That's how I look at it.
Facts. Yeah, I do the same thing. I know what category different people sit in. I have gotten away from a lot of YouTube quote unquote influencers. There's some that I follow because they have a lot of great information, but it's not any that I tune into on a regular basis. I know how to separate myself from my emotions, from okay, I'm using you for TA. I'm using you because you've been pretty good at knowing about projects coming out and then knowing, oh, okay, this is what I want to do research in. But I will
Hey,
always stand behind, invest in your interest. And then when you're investing in your interest in things that fall underneath that, like you can't really go wrong as long as
she's
you're doing
asleep,
your
so be quiet.
research. So anybody down there have anything else for us? Because if not, we have about 16 minutes left for our 2 hour mark. Because I always know if I say it so close to when we're about to cut off, then somebody will always at the end raise their hand. So if you have anything now would be the time because we have about 15 minutes of just winding this down and getting some questions or some conversation. And if not, I know Oculus won't complain either.
Go ahead.
Oh man with the dog, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Uh, just wanted to jump in here real quick. We just finished here at work, uh, and I will say this. I'm sorry that I missed it. Sorry I missed being with individuals like minded, talking about the same thing, doing the same thing we're all doing. But replay is the best way. So now I got to go back on mute. Thank you.
Oh, that was smooth. Replay is the best way. Hey, I like that. All right. Always good when you
Good to see you, old man with the
chime in.
dog.
Yeah. Yvonne, what's up?
Hey, just wondered if I know they just had New York City NFT, and if anybody went down there to experience that or see if they've learned anything. And I know Oculus, since you're in New York, I'm not sure if you
Hell
had a
no,
chance to see it.
hell no, it was too expensive. They were trying to get a kidney for you to go down there. So no, I didn't actually go at all. I wanted to go, but to get the passes to like go to that stuff, it was really, really expensive. And I said, wow, this really isn't for, you know, the broke investor. So me, so I didn't get to go. No, I didn't.
Gotcha. And the other question I had is I saw somewhere they were talking about the soulbound NFTs. Have you heard about that? The one that would be like one per person. I'm not sure if Wolf or any Timeless or Ovi, if you heard of that.
No, I actually haven't heard of that. Has anybody else heard of it? I haven't heard of it.
I have not, but I've been a little out of touch for a few
Yeah,
days.
yeah, I know Vitalik Buterin was talking about it. and it's, I guess it's, they were talking about it being a, what is it, a SBT, so a soulbound token. And they were talking about it would be what would replace maybe, like if you went and got a degree and colleges could put that on your, you would have one, or it might be your voting pass or things like that. I know Vitalik said pay attention to that. So because it was up there, I didn't know if anybody had any, other information about soulbound tokens.
Oh, it's coming to the Solana blockchain. I just Googled it. Is that what you're
Um,
talking about? Soulbound, or is it something else?
I'm not sure if it's with the Solana blockchain or not. I think that would be, since Vitalik was talking about it, I'm not sure if that would be Solana.
He's kind of weird. He talk about a lot of stuff. So he was getting some slack for something he said. Like, it seemed like he was crapping on Ethereum, so he had little people confused about what he was saying. So I don't know.
I got you. Yeah, I just wanted to state, it was just something I saw in one of the little blips, and I was just curious about learning more about the soulbound token. So I was trying to look it up, and the only thing I saw was like Vitalik talking about it.
I haven't, but I might, once I'm geared down on some of these projects, I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah.
I know something that just came across my feed, and I want to look a little bit deeper in, because it's saying developers behind the Cardano blockchain submitted a proposal to hard fork its testnet, launching the 4-week countdown for the maintenance upcoming Basel upgrade. So I think that that's pretty interesting. I really kind of want to break that down and see. I mean, been waiting on the Basel thing. They say 4 weeks now. Okay, we'll see. And then, but then why would the developers submit an application to do hard fork on Cardano too, right before that? So kind of interested of what that means and why.
I think I just found what you were talking about, Yvonne. I just shared it in the space. What are soulbound tokens? It's I shared the article in the Nest. So I think that's actually what you're talking about, because it did mention Vitalik. So if anybody wants to research it, I just posted it for everybody to see. Go ahead, Wolf.
Sorry, I tried raising my hand, but the thing went off. No, I just wanted to say, I always appreciate you ladies doing this on Wednesday nights, and also, letting me come up here and shoot the shit with you all. I always appreciate it, and I feel welcome. So thank you for that very much. I am going to drop off. I'm gonna go watch some Netflix with the missus. But I hope all of you have a great night, great rest of your week, and I will catch you on Friday night.
You
Absolutely.
too, Wolf. And leading off with what Wolf just said, Oculus and I, as Dames on the Blockchain, are going to co-host with Crypto Underground's Friday night show this Friday. Also, FYI, so mark your calendars. Have a great night, Wolf. Have fun with the missus.
Thank you, ladies. Have a great one.
No problem. That's right. You get to hear my voice twice. No, I'm sorry.
Hey.
So, does anybody else want to come up on the mic? Because if not, me and Thymeless are going to end it. Does anybody have anything else to say? Going once.
Going once.
Going twice. All right. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. I always appreciate seeing the same faces here. Thank you for supporting us. And I was just going to say this. There's a lot of people out here trying to do what they've learned, or trying to, use other things they've learned, or read other information and think that they can actually do this. Hosting a show and actually having a show every week is not an easy task. I mean, I was on Zoom for 6 hours today, and I am here. And I am very, very busy with life, just like Timeless is, but we definitely also have to prepare for this also. So, you know, and I'm just glad to see you people still here because it means that you actually like to hear what we have to say. But as I've told a few people earlier today, there's a lot of people out here doing the same thing I'm doing, but can't nobody do it like me. So with that being said, I'm gonna throw it over to Timeless.
Hey, there's not much more I can say past that. I just gonna go with what I normally say every week, especially right now in the bear market. Don't run away. Don't get scared. This is a time to accumulate wealth. I'm happy to see each and every one of you guys every week. And then the ones that can't attend during live, the playbacks, we see the playbacks. So we see the numbers. We know it's there. We appreciate you. Without y'all tuning in and engaging with us, there would be no reason for us to be here. So with all that being said, we really enjoy the engagement in the Discord. We love the community building that we're seeing. So let's use this time in this bear market. Let's accumulate so that we can be wealthy later. Don't run away. Do not hide. This is the time. This is the time that makes people wealthy. So with that being said, I just appreciate you guys each and every week. And in between the weeks, in all of our, from Telegram to Discord to Twitter, you all are very much appreciated. Thank you.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
See y'all next week.